got the guy here that don't need an introduction. Thing, but I'm going to tell you a little thing that he's done. He works pretty close to the Cancer Association, and he takes people as far as Cleveland, and he helps around here with people who can't get up that early in the morning. He'll come and get them and give the spouse a little relief. And outside of that, there, Zane, you're on.
Well, I gotta confess a little bit this morning. Later on, I was getting ready to come here, and Sister Gina, I don't know, a lot of you know Sister Gina, and she said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm changing pants for the third time." She said, "You got diarrhea?" I said, "No, no, I'm nervous. I'm nervous." "Why are you nervous?" I said, "I got to speak today. I'm nervous," and I was on my third pair of pants, but I said, "Okay, I am comfortable in blue jeans. Usually my work boots with a little cow on the bottom, a little mud and that, but this is what you get today." But Herb and I were sitting here after setting up tables one Monday morning talking about me finding a speaker for, I could do that, Herb. I think I could help you out. So I'm here to talk about the flags at the cemetery. 3 years ago, I went through Auburn, and they had, just going into Auburn there, a church on the right, they had flags, buku flags, and I, wow, that is cool. So on the way back through, I stopped and looked at them, and everyone had a tag on it, somebody was honored in that, and that is neat. So a couple weeks later, I went back, and they were neat, but they had 118 poles in the ground, but only 124 poles in the ground, 118 had tags on them. But the poles were kind of, some of them leaning this way and that way, and it looks good, and you start going down through there, I'm straightening flag poles, and okay, this ain't my job, this is somebody else's. So I walked away, but I thought, that is awful neat, and how could I do that? And I went to Defiance, the Moose down, Defiance had the same thing, and they only had like 52 flag poles, but each one had a card on them honoring somebody. They weren't all honoring a veteran. Some were honoring grandparents. One in Auburn was honoring their high school teacher. So it don't need to be a veteran to be honored. You can honor anybody. So 2 years ago, I asked Don Brown and Sheila Baker on our cemetery board if I could do it at the cemetery. And I said, I'll fund it the first year because I don't want to take taxpayers' money if it don't work. And I'd rather fund it myself. So I did, but all the money we made went back to the cemetery. I didn't get it, Don didn't get it, Sheila didn't get it, nobody. It went back into the cemetery. So we did 25 2 years ago, and I had to turn people away because I got more people wanting to honor somebody, put a flag up. So this year I said, okay, we'll do 50, we'll do 25 on each side. You get 50 and then you gotta turn people away, and no, I didn't want to do that, so we went ahead and put 100 flags out last year, and everyone was honored. Every flag had somebody's name on it. And I thank the community for that, because everybody's got somebody you know that you can stand up and say, that's okay, I like that, I love you, you're not forgotten. But it costs you $25 to put their name on that little card, and I zip tie that card to the flag. Mike does them up for me here at the Tribune and that. But there's some work goes into that, and it costs you $25 for that little card, but you can put anything on there, anything that Mike can actually get on the card, you know. And I know last year I had one, I got flyers over there if you want to fill one out. a lady, and I think there's 5 rows, and she had 2 rows with each one of them. Like, oh no, I know Mike ain't gonna get all that on one card. So she said, well, take off whatever you want. So I did. It was John Guilford's from Defiance. But I guess I want to tell you I thank you, but I'm gonna show you a little bit how we put that together, and I contributed that to Wayne Truman here. I call him my common sense engineer. I'm trying to figure that out, how to make that flagpole right and make it stand there right. So I took my poles up to the Huber one morning, and when you got that many guys that can put that Huber together like it is, there ought to be somebody in there to tell me how to do it. So, and Wayne said, well, let me look at it. Let me take this home. 2 hours later, Wayne calls and says, stop by, I think I got it figured out. Okay, yep. So what we do, we take, I'm 21 feet from the berm of the road to where my first pole goes in. 21 feet. That gives everybody plenty of room when they pull out to the road. They can see direction both ways. Even if that flag is sticking straight out, you can still see out on the road, safety-wise. But it's 21 feet. And then we put a little stake in, and I run a string clear to the other end to make sure they're 100% straight. Every 10 foot, Wayne did me up a stake. Every 10 foot with a little spray of paint down. I got exactly know where each pole goes, 10 foot, and that. But I'll show you a little something that through Wayne, my engineer, figuring this out. I give him a pole that day, and he said, well, let me take it home. 2 hours later, he got it figured out that he made this little round thing, it slips on the bottom, and then he drilled a little hole in the side, so the water, when we put that inside of the PVC pipe, that little thing will slide down in there real snug, and that'll go down in there 16 inches. That'll set down here. I'll show you in a second here, and then with the cap, he drilled a hole in each one of these PVC caps. That way that'll slide down on there, and very little water gets in there, and it holds that. You get that down on there tight, that flag goes nowhere. You know, it sets on there and just don't move it, very, very, very little. And I don't know if anybody ever notices it drives me up a wall. Sometimes I get buggy about things sometimes, but when you see a flag that's wrapped around something, you want to stop at somebody's house and unravel their flag and then go on. And so I do, and I've had them hooked on eaves, spouts, trees, but you just stop and unravel their flag and jump in the car and take off. You don't have to say nothing, you don't have to knock on the door, but that flag is back blowing again. But these flags, and I had a lady tell me one day, she stopped because one was raveled a little bit. She undone that one, well, no one down there is raveled. By the time she got back, they're all unraveled because they got a plastic here. No matter what the wind does, they will spin on their own. They don't act, they may ravel a little bit for 2-3 minutes, but the next wind, they unravel themselves. So it's pretty simple in that respect. But them poles in Auburn and Defiance there, I didn't like that because you got a flagpole that's leaning over like that with a flag. It just, it wasn't me. So I went to TCS or whatever, in Defiance, got the old 5-foot T-pole. You put that in the ground 16 inches to where that's right at the edge of the ground, at 16 inches right there. And you hammer that baby in with the old the hammer, and the weed whacker won't catch it, the mower won't catch it, but this is set right down on that, and then the pole slides in there like that. You screw that down on there tight, and there's our flagpoles at the cemetery. and then this is your name tag on there. So I have flyers over there. If anybody would like to fill them out, I'd love to. I'd like to have them back by May the 1st, because I'll have them in by the 18th of May, before Memorial Day weekend. They'll stay out there at the cemetery for 8 weeks. Should be about the 13th of July. Auburn takes theirs down before the 4th of July. I'm not going to take my flag down before the 4th of July. So that's what I have for today. Anybody have any questions?
So each year you drive in all those fence posts, Zane, and have pull them back out.
Normally, a year ago, this year I had some trouble getting them back out because it was a little dry, but I got me a little jack. I jack them out if they're, but normally you wiggle them a little bit and I can pull them out. But this year I did probably 10 or 12 of them I had to jack out, but no big deal. Yeah. But that, I guess I want to thank Wayne, because he's the one that come up. You know, I get stewing sometimes and I can't sleep at night, so I eat a lot of ice cream. Wayne, 2 hours, he had that figured out for me, and Don and the cemetery board allowed me to do that, and hopefully we'll do another 100 flags this year. It'll probably be on a first come, first served basis, because I only have room, and they are 10 foot apart exactly, but we only really have room for 100 there along the road. So it may be a first come, first served basis this year. But we have some, I know a year ago, the law enforcement was honoring someone. Let me read some of these. You may know this person here. Enlisted in 115 of 46 at $6.40 a month. He was in the 11th Airborne Division, qualified as a paratrooper. He was a cable splicer instructor in Japan. Anybody know that guy without mentioning his name? I'll bet you do. Turk's dad, Denny Guilford. Betty wrote that up, and I guess for me, I like to walk down through there and look at everybody's, who they honored, because I guess I'm interested in that, and I'm interested in why, you know, and I like that. She gave me a little story about him, and that. Dick Slattery, husband, father, grandfather, are Marathon Man. Dick Slattery is known as Marathon Man here in Hicksville. So just little things. It don't have to be a lot, but it's also whatever Mr. Mike here can get on the card too. So, but there are flyers over here if you'd like to take a few and fill them out. And yes, sir.
Is there any reason why they couldn't stay up for a longer period of time?
It's kind of like your Christmas decorations. If you leave them up all year, it's not quite the same. Yes, I could, and that, but I worry about that because I don't want to take that the flag. You know, and I know now they want to lower the flag for this, something happened, okay, I'm a little touchy there. You know, you better be a good reason for that. But 8 weeks, and these are not high dollar flags. They cost $6.40, but they are made in America. I could have got them for $3.90, but they were made in China. I said, absolutely not. But the cemetery this year, once we buy the poles, the steel poles and the PVC pipe, we can reuse them, but we will not reuse the flag. But they could. I could leave them longer, but every now and then I get one that may start frailing a little bit here, depends on how much wind we get. And I usually yank it down, put a new one up, and I take it to Maribel Timbrook, my good neighbor lady. She'll sew that back up for me, and then I can reuse it if I have to. But I've had that question asked a lot of times, but I don't know, it's kinda like Christmas decorations, I don't wanna take away the Christmas, it's fun time, but. Anything else, anybody? Okay, if you wanna flip over your placemats, I do have a smiley face, somebody has one.
Yeah.
You get to bring a white flag. Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me. Thank you for waiting.
Well, thank you, Zane, and Herb, thank you for the program, and Wayne, thank you for being here and all that you've done. I don't know if anybody's driven, most everybody's driven by these flags when they're out, and it takes great, you feel pride when you drive past them and you see them at the cemetery. You think about all the work that you do at the cemetery, and Zane and all his volunteers to put those up. It takes a lot of time, but thank you so much for doing a lot for, you know, the service for men and women in our community.